the Jessup Moot Court competition is the oldest international law mooting competition in the world. It began as early as in 1960 as a friendly competition between two teams of Harvard University. And then, gradually, it expanded its borders. The competition was open for international schools and teams to participate since the year of 1968. Today, it has expanded beyond imaginable means. Today, there are more than 90 countries and 700 law schools all around the world who participate in the Jessup. The international rounds of the Jessup competition are funded by the NUB, the White and Case International Law Firm, who have been treated and respected as the #1 international law team and the international law firm in 2016. As such, today's ceremony, in fact, marks a very significant chapter in the mooting legacy of Bangladesh. Mooting has been one of the brightest and most merry programs that the law schools participate. There have been a number of mooting competitions in the past few years, but from today we can say that yes, Bangladesh also belongs to the elites of the mootings of the world. We will be going to Jessup, we will be talking with other people, we will be competing with other people, and we will be representing Bangladesh in the international forum from today. As such, it is my privilege and honor to be present here conducting the opening ceremony. I am Moot Shamsmizan, lecturer at University of Dhaka, and I take immense pride in saying that I myself have been a mooter, and that was undoubtedly one of the best days of my life when I was mooting with other teams. Now, without further ado, let me move on to the formal part of the ceremony. Today, we are graced to have amongst us 5 special people of the legal world of Bangladesh. We have with us Professor Dr. Burhanuddin Khan, President, Asian Society of International Law Bangladesh. But for most of us, Burhanuddin Khan is Burhan sir. The man, well, maybe the only man in Bangladesh who can claim to have read and dealt with every single piece of legislation ever enacted by the Parliament of Bangladesh. And currently, Burhan sir is working in the Department of Dhaka. Dean, Faculty of Law, Northern University of Bangladesh. Sir is a landmark name in the law field of Bangladesh. A man who can shape the younger generation with his energy and enthusiasm of going on despite this cruel and harsh world. He is the man who knows how to go on and how to teach in academia. A person who has set an example that academia never stops and a professor never rests. We also have with us Professor Dr. Anwar Hussain, Honorary Vice Chancellor of Northern University of Bangladesh. We are privileged to have as special guest of today's ceremony Professor Dr. Abu Yusuf Muhammad Abdullah, who is the chairman of the Northern University of Bangladesh Trust. But today's chief guest, without whom this ceremony would have lost all its glamour and all its glory, is none else than Honorable Justice Muhammad Iman Ali Sir. Iman Ali Sir is the Honorable Judge of the Appellate Division of the Supreme Court of Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you to put your hands together for the dignitaries of the podium. Thank you. May I now request Mr. Dr. A.W.M. Abdul Haq, Dean, Faculty of Law, Northern University, Bangladesh, to deliver the welcome address on behalf of Northern University. As we know, this program is a joint collaboration between Asian SIL and Northern University, Bangladesh. So,
I will seek to deliver a brief speech. Honorable Chief Guest, His Lordship, Justice Muhammad Iman Ali, Deputy Division Supreme Court of Bangladesh. Honorable Special Guest, Professor PYM Abdullah, Chairman of the Class, and Vice Chancellor of Northern University of Business and Technology, Abdullah. Respected President, Bangladesh Chapter of Asian Society of International Law, Professor Dr. Nazrul Khan, and other special guests in the guide. Distinguished members of the Committee of Phillip and Jessup International Law, Moot Competition 2017. My initiate young law students from different universities of Bangladesh participating in the prestigious Moot competition, and ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I'd like to congratulate the Bangladesh chapter of Asian Society of International Law and International Law Student Association for organizing the world's most prestigious and famous international law Moot competition in the memory of Phillip and Jessup for promoting international law. Jessup is the oldest and largest international law competition in the world, attracting participants from almost 700 law schools in more than 90 countries in this area. The competition started back in 1960 with two teams of Harvard University as the normally known. Later it completed for non-American teams in 1968. Since then, law schools from all the continents have been participating in the billion battle for winning white and pink Jessup Cup every year. So the culture of Muslims in the law schools in Bangladesh has been enriched by now. However, it was incomplete, not to be part of this prestigious history. I would like to congratulate Bangladesh chapter of the Asian Society of International Law for its historic contribution to add Bangladesh in the glorious history of Jessup. Respected dignitaries, I am pleased that the Faculty of Law, Northern University, Bangladesh, is taking the pride to be the host of the prestigious competition at its inception in Bangladesh. Certainly, it will boost the spirit of the NUB multicultural to receive its history and its weight in the 2011 winning of the 7th Henry Union Memorial Moot Court competition. And the response to the fairness and partiality of this competition, the annual Moot Court team is not taking part in this competition. However, the team would like to express its solidarity to the participating teams and observers. Phillip and Jessup, who currently taught international and national law, is one of the few scholars who was also in the World War from 1960 to 1969. He is Hamilton Fish Professor of International Law and Diplomacy at Columbia University, served as Assistant General Secretary of the United Nations Fleet and Rehabilitation Administration. Conference in 1943 and the Return Groups Conference in 1944. This most remote code competition which seeks to promote international law among law students is a real tribute to his memory. My dear young friends, Moot is an essential part in our education. In my opinion, Moot is not extracurricular activities of law students, rather, conference is a very fundamental part of practical legal education. fluency, and clear enunciation are particularly important for the lawyer. Taking part in the Moot course will help you in this respect and also give you experience in the art of persuasion and putting a case successfully and intelligently. Moot court competitors, the competition that is this seeks to familiarize you with the important transnational law and the complete complex concept of the law in it. Learning it through participation in a moot court makes it more interesting as well as what is carried out with the team spirit. Moot court competition provides an excellent opportunity for young law students to learn legal skills. It trains them in the part of advocacy. One has to do meticulous research in preparing a case, and then while presenting it to judges, he or she has to participate enough to convince the judges of the merits of the case. An advocate has to be well versed in the procedural as well as substantive law. Above all, an advocate has to always remember that he is working in the cause of justice. And it comes with sincerity of purpose and devotion in the profession. It is imperative of the international law community, basically the goal of establishing the world government one day, particularly international lawyers to make use of all possible avenues to propagate international law. Rather consider this event as one of those avenues through which young minds are attracted toward the international law. There may be only one team may emerge as a winner in this competition. For each participant, the exposure that is gained here and would bring and victorious in future. Finally, I wish the organizers and participants a great success. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. As I mentioned earlier, this Moot has been jointly organized by Northern University Bangladesh and Asian SIL Bangladesh. Many of us might be new to the concept of Asian SIL. Asian SIL is an international forum which nurtures and mentors the development of international law enforcement practitioners and academics. It began in Singapore, and the Bangladesh chapter of Asian SIL was established by a number of academics from University of Dhaka and other universities, and it started its journey in 2014. So may I now request dear Burhan sir, President of Asian SIL, to kindly deliver his welcome address on behalf of Asian SIL.
Distinguished Chief Guest, Justice Manali, Honorable Special Guest, the Chairman Board of Trustees, Jessup, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and Dean School of Law, Nazrul University. Today's audience. It's actually a very memorable and remarkable day for us because we are going to make a history. And I thank Northern University, especially, you have volunteered to be part of the history. Academic institutions need to support us. Otherwise, we cannot pursue our academic pursuits. And it's one of them. So I would like to give a big hand to Northern University. Today's competition, we have 10 universities taking part directly as competitors, and there are 6 observers. I believe in the next years we'll have more and more. About the Asian Society of International Law, Moot has very rightly said that our objective is to pursue and promote international law. And the Asian Society of International was launched in 2007 with international chapters, one in Bangladesh, one in Japan, one in Indonesia, one in Philippines, and so on and so on. But the Jessup Moot competition is actually also highly supported and sponsored by the American Society of International Law. The American Society of International Law was established in 1906, and the Asian Society of International Law was established 101 years after. Nevertheless, we Asians are moving very fast. Let's take, for example, Moot competition in our country began in, or taking part began in 2005 only. It's only how many years? 12 years. The first ever team in 2005 went to Delhi. And I can claim to be one of the, well, I can claim to the person who introduced it with my student and now professor, who was the moderator and coach. We sent a team to Delhi, and that's the beginning. And you can see in 12 years, each and every law school, they know what Moot is. And within these 12 years, we have taken part in many junior Moot competition, which is an international one in our country, and also we have taken part in the Oxford University Prize Media Moot, Oxford University. Every year, one or two teams taking part in Great Oxford. And today, we are making another discipline. Inshallah, every year, one team will be going to the United States to take part in the Jessup Moot competition. Professor Abdul Haq said who Mr. Jessup is. So the whole Moot is international law. And this year, in 87 countries, this competition is being held. And more than 150 universities are taking part in this competition. So we are part of the global initiative. The competition every year takes place wherever the American Society holds its conference, annual conference. The American Society's this year's conference will be held in Washington, D.C. So the competition will be there. The American Society's conference begins from the 12th to 15th of April. You're most welcomed to be a member of the American Society of International Law and take part in the conference. Even without being a member, you can still take part in the conference. And at this juncture, I would also like to invite you all to join or be a member of the Asian Society of International Law, which was established in 2007, of which I was once the vice president. Now I am a member of the executive, member of the advisory council, and Professor Nazrul and Professor Mahbub Rahman, they are members of the executive committee. We Bangladeshis are making a huge impact in the Asian Society of International Law. I can tell you this. We means we all here. When we represent the country. So we are there, and we want our presence more and more rigorous, more and more. Let the entire world feel that we exist, and together with all of you, we can do it. So I would like to thank once again all the university for their effort to sponsor us. I believe every year one or the other will come forward and support us, and we will take international law further and further. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure you have already made the lectures even more enthusiastic than they already have been. What makes humans and education more memorable and more enjoying is when people come together. A multi-competition is not to be a place where the adrenaline runs high. It's also a place where friendships are born, a place where new bonds are nurtured. As such, the organizing of this event marks the friendship between the academia and the bench and the bar of Bangladesh. And therefore, to honor this friendship, we will be awarding a small token of appreciation to the guests of today's ceremony. So, may I request, on behalf of Asian SIL, Professor Mohan to award a token of appreciation to today's special guest, because without the help of London University Bangladesh, this program would not have been possible. Can take pride in is that we have a very alert judiciary. Our highest judiciary is an epitome of judicial activism, and it makes this program more august to know that we have amongst us a very vibrant member of the apex judiciary. As such, may I now request Honorable Vice Chancellor of Northern University Bangladesh to hand down the token of appreciation to Justice Muhammad Iman. May I now request Professor Dr. Anwar Hussain, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Northern University Bangladesh, to deliver his speech.
Honorable Chief Guest, Justice Muhammad Imam Ali, Honorable Charles Appellate Division Supreme Court, Honorable Chairperson, Professor Dr. A.W.M. Abdul Haq, Dean Faculty of Law, Northern University of Bangladesh, Honorable Special Guest, Professor Dr. Muhammad Abu Yusuf Muhammad Abdullah, Chairman, NUB Trust, Mr. Professor Burhanuddin Khan, my ex-colleague, Professor of Dhaka University, and President of Asian Society for International Law. My colleagues, guests, and the Mooters, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good afternoon to you all. First of all, I am really grateful to SIL for giving us this privilege to sponsor this program. At the eve of this internationally famous competition in the Bangladeshi chapter, this is going to set a nuclear motion, a chain reaction, which will ultimately explode in Washington, D.C. Because the final will be held in Washington, D.C. And one of the themes of today's or next 2 days competition might have a chance to go all the way up to USA. You see, this competition has two-way purpose. First, to honor and recognize the person who has dedicated his life for legal profession. And the second purpose, I assume, would be to inculcate the learning spirit among the students of the legal profession. So it's a kind of 2 razor blade which cuts in both ways and carries the flag forward. So I appreciate, and Northern University will never hesitate to welcome and sponsor and come forward to sponsor this kind of events, which is going to help stimulate our education sector, especially legal. In Bangladesh, legal profession, even internationally, all over the world, young people are coming up to join this legal profession in large numbers. Gone are the days when we had, as teachers, we used to have some kind of advisory counseling, where legal profession was not very much coveted one, especially at the university level. But what we have seen over the years, this has become one of the highest sought after department in Dhaka University and most of other private universities. And you find that this profession has faced the challenge and come up with real strengths. And in society, in today's society, in today's world, everything is touched by the law. And law decides, law regulates, law inculcates, law delivers every good thing that is produced in society. In business, we have tremendous impact of law. In education sector, we see also law has a very, very important element. In that context, I think this Moot Court competition will set a motion of preparing the future with lawyers, preparing the future advocates for the real practical issues which we face in the courtroom. You know how to make your case sufficient, how to put argument, how to counter the argument, and everything are being discussed and deliberated, and the judges are evaluating the performance of the teams. So this is, I think, one of the best ways to teach and train up future lawyers of this country and all over. I believe Northern University has got a mission and vision where we want to provide education at a moderate cost with quality of education. And to improve the quality of education, this kind of event is highly welcome. And that's why we have not hesitated in sponsoring this program. And in future also, we'll take up this challenge whenever it comes to us. I would like to recognize that our chairman, who is, has got a very good vision of an ambition for this university, where he immediately accepted the offer and came up with the support. Even I was hesitating whether we should come up with such a big amount. But he said, no, we have to go forward. We have to welcome this kind of event. We are going to host it. I'm sure this synergy that has come up with the SIL and NUB will continue further, and in all kinds of educational experiences will share and care for each other. This relationship that has started will remain seamless and will continuously support each other's venture. And I believe this is a commitment of the partner. I'd like to thank our Chief Justice, who despite his busy schedule and despite his, his ailing situation, but he has accepted our invitation and he is with us. And I would like to thank him on behalf of NUB, on behalf of our trustee board, the faculty members and the students. Sir, for your glorious presence in today's event and for also the beginning of this opening of this particular program, which have a very significant impact on our legal profession. Professor Burhan, whom I know because I have also served in Dhaka University for 36 long years, is a very talented faculty member, and he is also one of the champions who support the private university initiative for education, whether it is in legal profession or business or literature or whatever it is. I welcome and thank you, Professor Burhan, for your support, and also you have come to the legal counsel and defense of the law education in private universities with your knowledge, skill, and experience. I think this will continue further for the common good of both public and private universities. As you know, in today's world, especially in Bangladesh, that the government has taken up the venture of public-private partnership. This is something we give value, we give credence, and a lot of good projects are coming up. In the education sector, similar public-private partnership has to be there. We believe that since the beginning of the private university initiative, this partnership has been continuing on because we borrow, we outsource the resources from the public university. Without whose support, private university alone cannot go for giving proper education to these students that we have. So this is already there and will further cemented and it will further augmented by the support of professors like Dr. Burhan and others. I would like to thank the organizers, and I see the bright beaming features of the young would-be lawyers who would be taking the challenge of organizing such a big event, and their courtesy, their good nature, and also their professional skill has really touched our heart. And I will thank them, all of them, for their wholehearted support to this program. I would like to thank our dean, very veteran, professional lawyer, who has set up the legal education in Bangladesh, pioneer of legal education in Bangladesh, and he has also served this university for several long years with his experience, vast knowledge, G, and his support. We are here today. The Northern University Law Department has come to a very prestigious, very glorious institution. We thank you, sir, for your support, and we hope that you be a centurion to continue to support this university and this country. I would like to thank my colleagues in the Law Department who are working very tirelessly. She has been taking all the challenges one by one, and I'm sure that although she is going to undertake her PhD program in Dhaka University, but she will continue to give the support to the university as she has always been. Thank you, Dr. Afroja. Thank you, team, and thank you, everyone. Salam.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now request today's special guest, Professor Dr. Abu Yusuf Muhammad Abdullah, Chairman of London University Language Trust, to say a few words for us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. To His Excellency, Justice Deliver Ali, Honorable Judge and the Education Supreme Court of Bangladesh, Honorable Special Guest, Examination Professor Dr. Certified Chancellor of London University of Bangladesh, Professor Burhan, a very talented and legendary figure in the field of law, and we all know him, Professor Dr. Abdul Haq, Dean Faculty of Law, NUB University of Bangladesh, my colleagues from NUB University, the owners, the participants, and the natives from print media, electronic media. Assalamu alaikum and very good evening to you. It's a great pleasure indeed to be here to the opening ceremony of the 58th Jessup International Law Court Competition 2017, jointly organized by Asian Society of International Law. It's called ASEAN SIL, Bangladesh chapter, and Northern University of Bangladesh on this very good evening on February 16, 2017. Professor Anwar Hussain, Professor Abdul Haq, and Professor Burhan made an excellent speech about a law student in the set side. I was given a piece of paper by my colleague of law department of the University of Bangladesh, so I will read it out. Because there are a few terms which I am not really not aware of. The 2016 and 17 session marks the 58th year of the Phillip C. Jessup International Law Court Competition. Jessup, as you all know, is the world's largest moot court competition, with participants from over 550 law schools in more than 87 countries. The competition is a simulation of a fictional dispute between countries before the International Court of Justice, the judicial organ of the United Nations. One team is allowed to participate from every eligible school. Teams prepare oral and written pleadings, arguing both the applicant and respondent petitions of the case. This year, Bangladesh is organizing the national level competition for the very first time, and not the University of Bangladesh takes pride to sponsor this prestigious competition and organize with Asian Society of International Law, which we know as Asian SIL, in collaborations with International Law Students Association. After I was first informed about this competition by the Department of Law, I had conversations with the department and the program approval committee. Finally, we decided to go for it. We believe this will bring about a wonderful bond among all the universities participating. I thank the Department of Law of Northern University of Bangladesh and Asian SIL for their great initiative. The Department of Law of Northern University has a long record of participating and winning and different moot court competitions. In several held international moot court competition, NUB Law has become champion at national level, defeating all the universities of Bangladesh. And NUB Law students have been honored as the best mooters for 3 times. In several held international moot court competition, NUB Law Department has stood third in position and honored with the Best Researcher Award. In 9th Henry Dunant International Moot Court Competition, NUB Law Department has stood third in position. In 10th Henry Dunant National Moot Court Competition, NUB Law Department was honored with the Best Memorial Award. In 12th Henry Dunant National Moot Court Competition, NUB Law Department was honored with the Best Memorial Award. However, at this time, we are the organizer, so on the ethical considerations, we are not providing any team from NUB this time. We want to be as fair about this as possible. My part is over, and I hope a great success of this competition. And I wish a grand success and very colorful occasions of this competition. And at the end, I must thank the Honorable Chief Guest to take all the trouble to be here with his gracious presence, and at the same time, those really worked hard at the behind to make it a success. I must appreciate their effort, and at the same time, I must congratulate and award my respect to Professor Dr. Burhanuddin to take such a great initiative to make it happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. In his speech, Professor Abdullah has marked a very crucial aspect. In Bangladesh, we have this idea of being fair. However, I'd like to add here that, it is not enough only to be, organizing the competitions or participating. Through this organizing of events and through competition, Bangladesh must strive to reach a stage where everyone would participate and everyone would nurture and appreciate the camaraderie instead of doubting the partiality. So this is something, this very competition could be the starting point. Maybe Jessup will show how a competition can be an example of partnership, of fairness, and something that is beyond doubt of any kind of partiality. Well, having said that, let us move on to the last segment of our program. As I mentioned earlier, that we all feel very, very humbled by the presence as the chief guest of Justice Muhammad Iman Ali Sir. Justice Iman Ali Sir is one of the very few people in Bangladesh who take a deep interest in juvenile justice. Sir has participated in a number of workshops on juvenile justice, and we know that he's one person who, despite being in the practicing field, has continued his academic research interest, and he has penned a number of articles and books on how juvenile justice could be developed and ameliorated in Bangladesh. As such, may I humbly request our chief guest, Justice Muhammad Iman Ali Sir, to kindly deliver his speech and also declare today's program open from this moment.
Professor Dr. Moot, Professor Dr. NUB, Professor Dr. Abdul Haq, and Professor Dr. Kazi, distinguished guests, faculty members, participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. Physically, I'm not 100%, as you might have noticed. I'm in some pain. But in front of all these bright faces, I feel quite energetic. It is indeed a great honor for me to be invited to inaugurate the first national round of Jessup International Law Football Competition 2017. May I ask those who are in the mooting competition, how many of you have been involved in debating? Any of you? A few. If I may be permitted to say that there is a fundamental difference between debating and mooting. Debating, there are two sides of any argument. Quickly you can say things and how quickly you can put all your points down before everybody in front of you. Mooting is totally different. I can tell you one thing, a very good in London, he won the debate prize, but he couldn't get through his law exams. Mooting is to do with the law. You have to research the law, you have to make your arguments in accordance with the law, within the legal framework, and you have to convince the judge that your argument, your interpretation of the law is the one which should be accepted. It takes a lot of hard work. Where did mooting start? From what I found out from Uncle Google, mooting started as long ago as the 15th century, when budding lawyers used to practice placing cases before the barristers in the Inns of Court in London. And then it moved one step further. There were mooting competitions where the barristers were bound to be judges. And if they did not attend, they used to be fined. Now, luckily, those fines have been taken away. And when Professor Burhanuddin asked me to be a judge, and I declined, I'm happy to say he cannot find me. All I want to say to the is that whenever you place arguments, this is the court you're facing basically. And you're also facing the other side. They will have their arguments, they will have done their work. What your mooting exercise will do for you is that it will build your confidence. To stand on your feet and speak. And to have the confidence, you must have the knowledge. You must know precisely the legal point that you are dealing with so that you do not fumble when you are talking before the judge. You have to be very well prepared. I can tell you from my experience as a judge of one of the mooting competitions a few years back, that the mooters which come from other countries are very good. You will have tough competition. So please be prepared. You represent Bangladesh. And I hope all of you will have the success to represent Bangladesh in the international arena and bring back laurels for us all. I thank everyone concerned, particularly Dr. Burhan, who thought about inviting me for this occasion. It is indeed a humbling occasion for me. And finally, it is my privilege to declare the Bangladesh round of the Phillip C. Jessup International Law Moot Court Competition 2017 open. Thank you.
Words are not enough to express our gratitude and thankfulness to Justice Imam Ali sir for his words. The words he just spoke show how much experience makes a man. My dear students who are here today as mooters, why mooting is so special? Because you, before getting the license of practicing, will get the opportunity to talk and stand in front of real life judges. This is something that makes all the effort and all the pain worthwhile. And more than that, it is a moot on international law, and international law is what makes Bangladesh. Because without the principles of international law, on the dawn of 26 March, our independence could have been questioned. But it was international law that saved us, that made us sovereign, that made us independent. However, sir, may I request you to kindly declare the event open? Sir, clarification. So now mooting is in the air, and we have officially entered into the mooting competition. However, before I take my leave, I would just want to mention one thing. There are some people who lead from front, and then there are some people who push from the behind and they don't like to come in the forefront. So there are two such people present here today who would like to mingle within the commoners and not show how much effort they have given. One is Mahbub sir, Professor Dr. Mahbubur Rahman, University of Dhaka, and then there is Professor Dr. Nazrul. And as such, may I request Professor Dr. Nazrul via my mentor, Ijman sir, to come over here and deliver a short word of thanks for everything that has come here today. And after this, may I request all of the students to remain here because there will be a group photograph taken with the guests of today's ceremony on the stage. On the stage. So please remain seated after Imam sir is done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Olivia. Our honorable chief guest, Mr. Justice Njiman, Honorable Judge of the Division Supreme Court of Bangladesh. Honorable special guest, Professor Dr. Abdul Sukhan Abdullah, Chairman of the class. Professor Dr. Anwar Hussain, Vice Chancellor of the University of Bangladesh. Professor Dr. Burhanuddin Khan, President of the University of Bangladesh. And Professor Dr. Jessup Abdul Haq, Dean Faculty of Law, NUB University of Bangladesh. Distinguished guests, participants, a very good afternoon to you all. A very brief word of thanks, as you already know that our honorable chief guest, even though he is not physically well, but he has given his kind consent to spend time with us and to declare this ceremony open. So, on behalf of the Bangladesh chapter of the Asian Society of International Law, and on behalf of the organizing committee of this competition, I would like to thank you. We are very grateful for your kind presence, and definitely the participants here are really delighted and encouraged with your kind presence. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank Professor Dr. Abdul Abdullah, Chairman of the University Board of Trustees, for this kind presence. That he is personally not only supported this particular event, he is personally there here. So, with your presence, we feel that yes, we have Persian with us, this for the university, and hopefully we'll be able to organize it smoothly with your leadership. Thank you, Professor Dr. Anwar Hussain, Vice Chancellor of the University of Bangladesh. I started my teaching career at the very beginning under his guidance when he was advisor to the American International University of Bangladesh. And today, after being a professor, I'm very delighted to have him again here at the University as the Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much for joining us and for being with us. Professor Dr. Jessup Abdul Haq, Honorable Dean of the University of Bangladesh. I met him once before today, regarding this particular competition. Found him very enthusiastic and very supportive for organizing this competition. Thank you very much, sir. And your guidance, Department of Law really have worked hard for this competition. And thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Burhanuddin Khan, who is our president, and under whose guidance, the Asian Society of International Law's Bangladesh chapter, which has been launched in 2014, as you know by now. So since then, we have successfully organized several national local competitions, and this time, the first time, we are organizing the qualifying round of the Phillip stages of International Local Competition 2017. So under his leadership, actually, this journey of Moot began in this country, as he has already mentioned in his speech, and I quote, that under his leadership, the Bangladesh chapter of the Asian Society of International Law will continue to organize local competitions in the coming years. Thank you, sir, for guiding us and for supporting us. I must thank those representatives directly from the International Law Students Association present here. But we have one national administrator of Bangladesh appointed by the International Law Students Association, Mr. Nazrul. So through him, I would like to thank the International Law Students Association for inviting
Bangladesh chapter of the Asian SIL International Law to organize this qualifying round for the first time and to allow a team from this particular competition, actually the winning team, to participate in the final round, which is going to be held in Washington, D.C. Thank you, International Law Students Association, on behalf of Asian SIL Foundation. Thank you, Asian Society of International Law, it's a voluntary society, as you know, and Bangladesh chapter is also a chapter of the Asian Society. So to organize such an event, we really need funding. And you know, without sponsors, it would not have been possible to organize this. So as a whole, I would like to thank Northern University Bangladesh and the university which sponsored this particular event and to help us in organizing this and to create an opportunity for the law students of Bangladesh to participate in the final round of the Phillip Jessup International Competition. I would like to thank the organizing committee who has already worked hard and who is going to work really hard in the coming days for organizing this particular event. As has already been mentioned by our leader, the Professor Dr. Mahbub Rahman, who really worked hard to organize this event, and as the coordinator, Mr. Samuel Basan, he will also work hard in the coming days. So I congratulate them. At the same time, I thank them in advance for organizing this particular qualifying round of this competition. Definitely the participants, I mean, for the first time, this is a bit, we have been organizing handicraft and real woodcut competition for many years, but this is for the first time a little bit of different arena of international law where you have to deal with during your submission and voting. So I would like to thank the universities who are actively participating in this competition, and I'd also like to thank the observer teams who are here to observe that, and definitely I hope that you will be participating in the next year. I would like to thank the teachers and staffs of the Department of Law at the university. I have seen personally they are working really, really hard for making this event a successful one, and hopefully this will continue for the next 2 days. I would like to thank the media professionals who are present here to somehow convey our messages to the public and to let everybody know that how international law is going to be nurtured and how the voting has taken an established nature in this particular country, and how the Bangladeshi law students are participating in various regional and international events successfully. Thank you very much for your kind presence and for conveying this message to everyone. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Orbita Shamsuddin, who was my student in the Department of Law, and now my colleague, the lecturer in the Department of Law, Dhaka University, for conducting this opening ceremony. With an invitation for all the participants to be here for tea and also for the formalities like the submission and glossary. And with the kind consent of our chief guest, I would like to declare this opening ceremony closed. Thank you very much.
ওখানে ঠিক আছে।